So I went over Saturday with Jake and Paige. And Gabe was over there, so we covered the game.
That's a crew.
Of course, it started half hour late.
Right.
My favorite part of Saturday, just a little complaint. Let me complain just for a second.
All right.
Game's supposed to start at 5. It's raining a little bit. Some rain came through. I understand it.
This is Saturday now.
Saturday.
Right.
And so Paige and I are riding over there, and I'm like, there's rain coming right through, but it's going to blow right through. Right, no big deal. But it takes a little while to get the field ready, even though it's turf. There's some dirt or something involved in the field. They're out there raking. They're doing all this work. We get over there, and the skies have cleared, and everything's looks like they could play baseball at 5 o'clock. They announced the game's going to be at 5:30. Okay, fine. They sang the national anthem. They introduced the entire lineup, kind of like you do at the start of a big series. Did all that like 10 after 5, whatever. And then we sat and stared at an empty field for like 13 minutes. Now, this was because of television, I guess.
TV rights.
But we're watching ESPN2, which is what the game was going to be on. And you know what they were doing on ESPN2?
What?
Tap dancing with a studio show waiting for a baseball game to start. And we're like, what are they even doing here? Anyway, that game got done. Oklahoma won the game. When it was over, it started raining. And there was some rain coming in, but they got it done.
Right.
Yesterday, there was fears of rain all day. It rained really hard over there at one point. But my understanding, I did not go over yesterday because I knew I had to do this, and I wasn't going to get home too late. I understand.
Even if it started on time, it would have been still a late trip for you.
Yeah, because it's an hour away.
Right.
And I had to do this all by myself. We go to Chiefs Sunday night games and come in here, or Monday night games and come in here. I get it. This is not the Chiefs. It's super regional baseball. We got people who can cover it. I'm selfishly wanting to be there because it's my team. Okay. But so they get over there yesterday, and now they push this thing back 2.5 hours. They start the game, they play it, and then lightning pops up. So they only played for a while.
And tickets were expensive for this game.
They really were. Some of it was kind of, apocryphal posts.
Right.
$3,500. I don't think anyone paid that much money to go, but people were paying hundreds of dollars to go sit at this game. It's a very small stadium.
Right.
So that was the Sunday night, and now they're going to start this thing at noon today.
It's still going on.
It's still going on. It's the third inning. Oklahoma's winning 8-1.
I don't like that rule. I think MLB just start over.
They used to suspend games. Remember this? You're old enough to remember at Wrigley Field? If it got dark before they had lights, if it got too dark, they would suspend it and they would come back the next day and finish it and then start the next game.
The rule in Major League Baseball, isn't it 5? The losing team has to bat 5 times for it to.
Yeah, he has to get to the bottom of the fifth. If the home team is winning, then it's fine.
Through the top,
losing team gets 5 chances.
I like that rule better.
Which they could, but they don't do that in postseason baseball. They come back, they figure a way to play it. Like Alabama's up 7-2 in the 8th inning. That was at 2 in the afternoon yesterday. They've had to wait around.
What, did the whole country have rain? Because the golf got suspended.
Yes, there was rain
in Ohio.
A lot of places.
Yeah.
It's just cloud seeding, Pete.
Right.
See, you shouldn't have started this. But it's this time of year.
It's Truman Show-esque, really.
And there's been a lot of rain happening around a lot of these regionals and super regionals in college baseball, and there's rules about lightning and all that bit. But also, we have a lot more rain delays just for public safety reasons than we used to have. You used to just play in rain,
Well,
whatever.
Quite honestly, with the way the game was going, this was great for Kansas.
I think it was great for Kansas because now they get to chill because they looked lost yesterday. I mean, their starting pitcher was balking. I've never seen a non-pitch before. Winds up, fake throws it, and gets a balk.
Yeah.
And then he looks at it's a turf mound, looks down and says, I don't think the thing's right. And he goes out there and they look at it, whatever. Then their relief pitcher comes in. He almost fell down, warming up. I mean, it's like they looked so freaking lost. So this is probably good for them. I've told people all along, Oklahoma hadn't won any game here. They give up runs. Mm-hmm. Now, it's bad news. Their starting pitcher will probably have to come out now. He had been effective for 3 innings, give up 1 run.
You're not going to go back in the game.
But who knows? It's college baseball. You may. They do a lot of crazy things in college baseball. But we'll see what happens there. It's going to be at noon. If there's another game, it'll be sometime after that. weather permitting, of course, because I think it's supposed to rain a little bit today as well.
So if Kansas wins, they will play another
Yeah.
game today.
Yeah, tomorrow night. Oklahoma in their regional in Georgia Tech got rained out on the Friday night.
Right.
Had to play 2 games on the Saturday. They won 1 and lost 1. So then it's double elimination. They had to come back on Sunday, play 2 more, and then they won both those. So then they had to prove it by beating Georgia Tech on Monday. So they played 3 games in 5 games in 3 days during their regional because of rain.
It feels like there needs to be someone in charge here. It feels like there's nobody in charge.
It was a weird deal over there. There was a little guy with a blue shirt and a walkie-talkie radio, and he was walking around.
Well, you got to look official.
Well, he was an NCAA guy, I think, and we were sitting there. I'm like, are we gonna stare at an empty field for 13 minutes? They needed an old. Remember the old baseball clown like Max Patkin to go out and do tricks or something? It was like
juggling.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, right, the game only can seat 3,000 people. So the majority of people that are taking in the game are watching on TV. So once you make an announcement of a certain time, that's
what you're stuck with, I guess.
It's locked in, and
we were just there.
You probably
for
spent
fodder.
13 minutes in worse ways in your life.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it was just weird because I was like, the sun was out,
Doom
and
scrolling.
we're looking at the radar like it's going to rain later tonight. We're just shrinking the window here by not starting, and they shrunk the window yesterday because it was sunny over there yesterday. But they waited for some reason. I don't know. They were filling time on ESPN yesterday with old Oklahoma State film of Pete Incaviglia. So they weren't waiting for TV for that. I don't know what was going on.
I just feel that if you were aware of the rain enough to push it back as much as it was, why are you starting this game? Are you not looking at the future radar?
Yeah, they shouldn't even started it.
The problem with this, I mean, listen, they're at the behest of ESPN on all these things because they're either on ESPNU, 2, regular, plus, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In the regular season, college baseball series get moved constantly for weather because most of them are just on some streaming thing. They're like, hey, looks crappy on Sunday. Get over here on Thursday. We're going to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week.
Stream you could start at any time.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, it is scheduled programming on ESPN and
it's a nightmare. Listen, we're dealing with the same thing here. We trying to figure out what we're going to have on. So this thing's at 8 now, or at noon now. We'll see what happens. We've got the NBA scheduled tonight. We make these same decisions, and we're not doing it for multiple networks, so it's complicated. The point is this: Kansas was not good on Saturday. I was super impressed. We're not going to talk a lot of college baseball here. We will with Scott Carroll a little bit later. Oklahoma's freshman pitcher was unbelievable on Saturday. It's his best performance of the year by a country mile. And Oklahoma's bats, I told everyone last week, they're good. They're going to score some runs. They were super patient with Dom Vegley. They made him throw a lot of pitches, and eventually he had to come to him, and they made him pay. But yesterday was just wild looking. I mean, Kansas looked like deer in headlights. Tyson LeBlanc's their best fielder or best player, and he's made errors. I don't know how many errors. They had 2 on Saturday, right, Jake? Had probably 2 last night.
Yeah, I mean.
Already?
Yeah, I mean, they should. The field was terrible. I mean, I don't understand why they'd even start that.
It's
game.
turf and it drains into it, but it's still wet.
It's wet as snot.
The dude Saturday, it was still wet Saturday. There was standing water on the field before we got there, and it all drains in. And the dude from Oklahoma hit the ball at the center field wall, flying around second base, just slid.
Yeah, fell right on his butt.
Fell right on his butt.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think you're right, though. Like Oklahoma, regardless of all these outside forces or whatever you want to call it, they do look like the better team right now. I mean, I don't think there's any doubt about that. This is actually great for Kansas. Assuming that this would have happened anyway, you have a chance now to reset, and it doesn't matter how many. You take one inning at a time.
Hey,
you
listen,
chip away.
It's not a great chance, but it's a better chance than they had last night because they weren't going to figure it out last night. I don't think
it wasn't going to happen last night.
Was not. But we'll talk some more college baseball with Scott Carroll a little bit later. A little Royals look right here. Hey man, Lucas Erceg got a save, Jake.
Yeah. Hey man, how about it?
That was a good last part of the homestand or the road trip. Once again, you can't take away the horrible blown saves, but they lost the game Saturday in Texas, and the second game in Cincinnati, the one Shane was at. We blame Shane for that one.
Right, the middle game.
Yeah, the middle game. It's a really nice road trip. They're 5-5 regardless. Had they won one of those, you're 6-4.
Right.
They won them both. 7-3.
Whole different outlook, right?
Whole different outlook. But they got to feel pretty good after playing well against Minnesota, who was ahead of them in the standings. But they can't feel very good that Bobby Witt had to leave the game.
Well, it just doesn't matter, right? Like, you're still 12 games under. Like, you can't stop.
What do you mean?
They've put themselves in such a hole that
It's
even
terrible.
again, and it seemed like Q really feels like he's going to be okay. But you put yourself in such a hole that, like, Bobby can't really miss any games because you need to. At some point here, you need to have a 15-5 stretch, 12-10 stretch, and so
He'll likely be a part of that.
You have Salvi in that mix as well. Caglione. You need your guys if you're going to reverse this, and it's because of the hole that you put yourself in, and not all the fault of the starting pitching and the hitting, especially lately. A lot of it has been bullpen issues, but Bobby's got to play. So that's the one thing to watch.
Good news for them.
5-5 really doesn't matter if
There's
Bobby
no game
misses
for them.
the homestand.
There's no game today.
Right.
So that's good news. Come home, rehab, whatever, and see what the deal is tomorrow. But you're right. They can't afford to not have Bobby Witt. And the funny part is, they're hot right now. This is a hot Royals team. They're 5-5. It's embarrassing that's the hot streak. It's 5-5. So
I just think going into a road trip, you take that. And
absolutely
now
take it.
And now you need. It's a 6-game homestand, correct? So now you need 5-1, 4-2 at home, and that's why
You gotta have
playing
Bobby.
is so important. Because if you were to assume, okay, let's say he misses 3 days, now you're like, okay, we need 3 and 3. All right, you get to the other side of that, you're still 12 games under 500. At a certain point.
The American League is
That's the thing. The American League is piss poor.
it's unbelievable.
It's terrible.
I mean, Tampa is still in first place. Well, they're tied with the Yankees, but they're 3-7 in the last 10. If you look down the last 10 in the American League, nobody's 9-1, 10-0. They're all 6-4, 5-5. Couple of 3-7.
There's a sub 500 team that is in the playoffs,
Absolutely.
right? So,
And that there's probably, I don't think there's going to be a sub 500 team in the playoffs, but there could be. The way it's trending right now, it could be.
You look at the St. Louis Rams too. You just get in at 7-9. You never know what can happen.
You never know.
Right.
You just got to get in the tournament.
Right.
But the Royals, it was a better performance. Maybe they found something with Alex Lang closing. None of it was perfect, but it was effective, which is all you really need to be. And then yesterday they had the nice lead, and they throw Beck Way out there, former Yankee farmhand who they traded for, and Andrew Benintendi back in the day. And that was,
He's improving upon his 6 ERA at this point, which is good.
I seem like an Urseg apologist sometimes because I do think that he had a little bad luck here and there this year. Little broken bat dribblers and, things like that. But in the end, it's your job to get people out. What Beck Way was yesterday was what people feel like Lucas Urseg has been. He gave up a couple of rockets and then I don't know how far that home run that Josh Bell hit was, 440. Just an absolute rocket out of there.
When they made the decision to bring him up, it caught my attention. I know I cover mostly football, but his ERA in the minors was 4.5, and it's like, all right, we're gonna bring this guy up and put him in a spot like this, even up 5 runs or 4 runs.
Yeah,
and you got what you got in the minor leagues.
You got what you got.
So is that such a surprise?
Nah, it's not really a surprise, but they just need so many pitchers to get through Major League Baseball season. When you don't have starting pitchers go 7 or 8 innings, they just use so many of them, and there's little injuries here or there, and that bottom of the roster. They had the guy come up last week, Thursday night, Josh Rojas. He literally got to the ballpark in the 8th inning of the game.
Well,
and just walked in there and got hit.
The night before,
he looked great the night before.
Two strikeouts.
You know what?
Full inning.
The league catches up.
The opposition just needed a little bit of tape.
They got a little bit.
Major League tape. And
Dude, it is.
Also, it was 6-1 when he entered the game, so you're feeling
different
all right.
feel.
6-1, it's all right. Hey, just need 3 outs.
That's why your boy Urseg was able to get a save because of
3
that.
outs back.
Yeah,
Back got him there.
Urseg came into a different situation. Guys on base, a real fireman situation. And, of course, he gave up a run. But he also, just more poor contact. And then if he could field his position, the game would have been over, easy peasy. And he got his hand on a ball in was that the Cincinnati or the Texas blown
Texas
deal.
game, I think.
Texas game. He got his hand on one that he shouldn't have touched. It would have been an out. All those
one
things.
yesterday.
Yes, and the one yesterday knocked his glove off. I don't know if he's not ready to be in whatever, but they ended up winning the game. That would have been the worst end if somehow Collins doesn't catch that ball, it rattles around.
This is one of these games where you just take the final score and you just don't worry.
Don't worry about it.
About how you got there.
Yeah,
you don't need to know any more information.
Like, look, you're right. 5-5 shouldn't be a hot streak, but when you went 3-16 in the previous 19 games,
this is hot.
It's blazing hot.
This is hot.
500 is hot for the American League, as you mentioned.
It is hot. It's hot.
Everyone wishes.
And the fight for ugliest blown game this year it's deep.
Quit. Stop doing that.
It's deep. I mean, there's some heartbreaking, just awful losses, and that would have been. Every time I think, well, that was worse, because I said last Saturday when we came in here that one against the Rangers, I said that was worse. That was worse than the Yankees one, which was on the Memorial Day, which was bad because all they did was broken bats or whatever. They lost.
Then they had the Reds.
The Reds. This one. 5-1 lead would have been worse. That would have been worse.
But hey, that's not what we're talking about.
They didn't lose. Now they're off.
I think the injury is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
now.
the injury is the thing.
And not just hit, but we're Salvi and Cags are both day to day. Salvi's got a thumb issue, Cags got a shoulder issue, and now Bobby's got a back issue.
And that to me is the biggest story, right? Like you have these three. You're gonna probably have at least one of them out of the lineup when you start on Tuesday, maybe 2 or 3, maybe all 3. Are you winning that game?
Well,
all 3 of them are out of the lineup.
That's when
against anybody.
No.
That's when that's when they win the games. What was it was a game this week. It was what was the pitching matchup? It was Tuesday, I think. We were joking about it, how bad the matchup was. Wow. And then
because that red starter who got scratched for illness.
No, it was Monday. Yeah, and the Royals won Monday. The Royals were throwing crap out there on Monday, and then they won. Then they won the game. We were sitting here a week ago, like, this is a good one. And then they won. So, hey, listen, they don't need those guys. They'll probably score 9 runs without them.
Right.
You run Lane Thomas, Nick Lofton, Isaac Collins.
Nothing to lose.
Everybody out there like that.
Right.
The funny part is, like, Salvi got hurt. That's how baseball is with catchers. I don't know how they get hurt. Don't get hurt more often. That you get hit with a ball. That's just how it does. Cags is 6'5", 230 pounds, and ran 3 miles an hour into a padded wall, and he's hurt. It's just kind of how you hit the wall. That's
a lot of
unlucky.
mass, man.
That's just unlucky. But we'll see. We'll see. You worry about Bobby.
I think he's going probably faster than 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, but he wasn't like running into it like
Why don't you go run into a wall and see
like
how your
like
shoulder feels?
Bump Bailey in the natural.
No. Through the wall.
Through the wall. But nice win for the Royals. Nice week. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it a week. We won't call it a road trip.
Hey,
nice
week. They're trending in a better direction.
They were 1 run away from it being a failure. That's thing.
That's what
it's
it is.
a whole different conversation. 4-6, another blown state, right? They
Their
got out.
margin is thin.
But it'd be a completely different road trip story had there had been hypothetically one more out, or had they gotten the extra hit.
Thin margin for them. Pete Sweeney is here for the first couple hours of the show today. Stephen St. John's off. I'm sure he'll call in. No, he won't. He's asleep. He's definitely asleep because he had a big, crazy weekend. If you follow him on social media, he's run over doing. I tell him he's got to relax.
Was it a boxing match that I saw?
Guns and Hoses.
Guns and Hoses was Saturday.
He was the MC of that.
Yep.
And I know a lot of folks went there. A lot of we had a table, I think, and Gehrig was there, right?
Yep.
There was a lot of Chiefs players there.
Chicken and Pickle had a table there for Gehrig was representing them.
We had a table. I think a lot of it. Did you know there's a young person's text chain around here? Those people were there. The young salespeople.
You know how much I care about that, Todd?
No, I don't want to be
sub 30, I suppose.
Well, some of them might be over 30 now, but they're younger than
35,
we are.
35, sub 35.
Yeah, we're the old men text string.
I like to stay on this side of the building.
That's right. We are the mature text string.
You guys are very mature. I'm on a text string with the 3 of you, and
that's kind of the not so bad one.
It bleeds maturity.
That was not so bad. That's not so bad. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We come back here. There's some bad ones. We're going to come back and we're going to talk to Pete Sweeney about how much would he pay to go to the game tonight in New York City if he lived in New York. I'm not talking about travel and everything because the numbers are down. The prices are coming down. We'll have game assuming there's nothing going on with Kansas baseball tonight, we will have Game 3 of the NBA Finals right here on Sports Radio 810. Welcome back into New Day with SSJ, without SSJ. I'm Todd Leabo, in for Steven today, and Pete Sweeney is here for the first couple hours of the show. Nate will be in the next few days. I'll be back in here on Friday, and Steven better be back here next week, or he's going to have hell to pay.
So you're doing Friday?
Yeah.
Will you be coming out to the stadium with me on Tuesday to Thursday?
Yes.
Mandatory minicamp.
Mandatory mini.
Mandatory.
Mandatory. It's mandatory for me. Looking like a nice, steamy, hot practice tomorrow.
So is it not mandatory for Rishi Rice?
Well, he does not have an excused absence, but they know where he is. He is not holding out and not showing up for contract reasons.
When's his 30 days up?
I wonder what happens there. The 16th, I think. I wonder what happens.
Such a
You
weird
get a
question.
note from the prison. It's not a prison, jail. You get a note from
County.
jail.
County
You get a note
lockup.
from county to say, I'm not at mandatory minicamp because of this, because you're supposed to get fined. Do they waive the fines?
I imagine.
That's a good question for Andy. Why don't you ask that?
I imagine he.
Send me out there. I'll ask him.
I got to imagine he'll avoid the fine.
Brett and the guys will handle that.
Right.
Yeah, fine.
It's an
Because a lot of times people don't go to. Let's see, a couple years ago, Chris did not go. He took the fines that 1 year,
Well,
and then they worked the fines out.
That's because of
Contract.
when you're pushing for a contract,
Yeah.
and then you get the contract. It doesn't really matter what the fine was.
Right,
You just
'cause-
made the
'cause
money
you
back.
got the
signing
money.
bonus comes in, and just take it out of that. That's
Take it
fine.
out of that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
This
the
is
last
not that.
time.
This is not
When's
that
the last
situation.
time someone didn't go to minicamp? Besides that,
Was it Chris Jones?
No, it's
that's besides Chris.
I
was
think
there?
mandatory minicamp. Most guys go. I mean, the only
Yeah.
time you're not going to go is
Is if you're in a deal.
Is if
and
you're
I think
trying to
the
push
last.
for a contract.
I mean, Chris had that deal a few years ago, but I don't remember when.
I
before
believe
that.
even Trey Smith, when he was pushing for his contract, did attend
Sure.
the
Well, he's no
mandatory part
dummy.
of minicamp.
He's not going to give that money away. And the good part about this Chiefs team, and I think you agree with me here, Pete, through all of this run that they've been on, these guys, they actually like football practice and each other.
It does seem like they enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, it really does. And I think you see it in the attendance for voluntary. We just went through 6 practices. We are allowed to attend 2 as media members. We used to be able to go to all of them, but that's been shut down across the league. Like now usually it's just 1 a week. And everyone, for the most part, was there. I mean, even in there, you have some injuries of guys. Norman Lott is an example. He's there.
He's there. He's just
watching
not,
watching practice. And so the only 2 guys that were out of the voluntary sessions, for at least the ones we saw, because they could be there. I mean, Chris Jones we saw on Chiefs social media, but we didn't see him at any of the
the
ones we were at. But we haven't seen Jones or Kelsey. I imagine that they'll be there this week.
Yeah,
because they are team leaders, and it is mandatory. You can get fined, all those types of things. But yeah, I mean the attendance, at least from what we've done, has been very good for the voluntary part. So I imagine it'll be close to 100%.
And we saw
Rice won't be there, but
3 of them last year, and I mean you saw a lot. Travis was there more last year. We saw him last year at the time. I mean, that's not to say he was at every single one of them, but we saw him. So these guys, the stars come to these things. And I know Coach says it's always, it's not mandatory, it's voluntary. Like Patrick is there, the quarterbacks are there. That's not 100% around the league. It's a big story. I think Lamar Jackson's been at OTAs this year. That's a big deal. Like
right.
Your quarterback not going to OTAs is not good for your team, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need your quarterback there. I mean, it's been good. It's been good to see that. Like Mahomes has been able to do something. Justin Fields is getting a lot of good reps. It doesn't. I mean, this is summer camp. It doesn't really matter until training camp. But good to build a foundation.
What will we see any different at all at the mandatory minicamp? I know they're not going to tackle. Will they put?
It'll look very similar to the OTA days. I mean, it's just I think what they want to do is again get that foundation down. They'll do it again. One in the opening days of training camp. A lot of this is for the new and young players getting acclimated. More so than for the veterans.
For some of the new coaches too. I mean, there's a little more coaching turnover this year than normal.
Mm-hmm.
So now these are reps for them too.
Right. Yeah. And we had opportunity to talk with DeMarco Murray and Chad O'Shea, and it seems like the new energy is palpable in terms of those position groups, and I think it was recognized by Coach Andy Reid that you needed some type of infusion of that type of vibe, and at least from what I could tell on field and really often just talking to these guys, like it's a new level of accountability for those two positions, and Andy Reid thought they needed that, and it seems like at least early on here they're getting it.
Well, that running back room is just different entirely.
Completely
the room
new.
itself.
It's completely new other than Brashard Smith.
Yeah. And is he a running back? What is he?
He is a offensive weapon.
Yeah.
OW.
OW.
For Andy Reid. Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's like all new guys in there and new coaching because, Eric Bieniemy was obviously a running back and a running backs coach.
Right.
In addition to being the OC. And DeMarco Murray, this is a learning curve for him. He's not been an NFL coach. He was an NFL player for a long time, but the entirety of his last chunk of life here has been coaching college kids. So there's a different feel there, too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think if you are, like, let's say, a really good D1 or D3 player, and maybe you didn't make it in the NFL, like maybe you should have to pay your dues 5-6 years, whatever, as a college coach. I mean, this is a 3-time 1,000-yard running back, and that probably was able to break down his own film and understand how to improve in his own game. And he's done it in the NFL, and so I feel like that translation is easier, and the respect level is there. It's like, this guy did it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did it 3 times. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, and he did some nice work at Oklahoma as well. Now, they didn't have a bunch of 1,000-yard rushers because college football is different now, but they had some pretty good
everywhere, right?
pass catchers, and I think he was one of the best pass catching backs.
Which is what Andy Reid asked.
And they need that to be a bigger part because when they were at their best offensively, they did a lot of that.
They've been kind of nudging that about Ken Walker a little bit. The way that Seattle ran it, they had Walker be that early down back, and then Charbonnet would be that third down, pass catching type of back. But I think they're optimistic that Walker can do some of that stuff here. I mean, this is the closest thing that the Chiefs have had to an every down back since original Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think they're going to utilize him in that fashion.
And I think they've got some interesting guys who could be offensive weapons.
Right.
That's what maybe Brashard Smith can do. DeMarcado possibly. I mean, a lot of people like what they've seen and heard from him at Johnson so far.
Look, I'm not trying to do a one-for-one comparison, but if you really remember, like, Tyreek Hill was a running back and then ended up...
You want to go old school Chiefs? Dante Hall was a running back.
Ended up being a receiver. Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think there's plenty of room for Brashard Smith to be an asset. I mean, obviously it's not going to be... I mean, they brought in new backs and drafted one in the mid-rounds for a reason. Like, they felt like they had to improve there. And then,
it is interesting. You mentioned Tyreek. I remember being at Big 12 Media Days in 2014, I guess, whatever year it was, and Mike Gundy said, well, we have the fastest player I've ever had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen anyone this fast. And he was talking about Tyreek Hill.
He was right.
And you go look at every stat and everything they had, they couldn't figure out what to do with him because he was a running back, but they would try to throw, they did, and they had some quarterback issues that year. So, like, you would think in Mike Gundy, who was a great offensive coordinator and play caller, and that's what he did, and Oklahoma State always had these offenses, they would have found some way to have him, like, have these incredible stats or something, and they couldn't quite figure it out because they just had him for a few months because he was a junior college player, and then he was there, and then he got in his trouble, and he had to leave. But it was like they couldn't quite figure it out, and it took the Chiefs a little bit of time to kind of figure out how to use him offensively.
Well, he was initially a returner.
Because you can always do that. Tyreek Hill's biggest play at Oklahoma State was a punt return for a touchdown.
Right.
That ended up sending the Bedlam game into overtime that they end up winning. And so that's the easy thing. Hey, the guy can catch the ball, go out there and make plays there, and then figure out a way to have him be part of your thing. And I think the Chiefs last year could not quite figure out what Brashard Smith was. Because at the end of the year when they could have given him, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 somethings a game, they couldn't figure out a way to do that either.
Yeah, I would imagine that there's going to be stuff built in for him more so as a receiver. And I just don't think, you look at the final stats, whatever they are this year, I mean, how many carries does he's got? I don't think it's going to be a ton. So you have to orchestrate touches in another way, and I think there's probably nobody better than Andy Reid to do that.
Yeah, you just got to do it though. You got to find the way. And last year was such an uneven year in all ways to figure out how to work things in. They were just kind of lost last year, because of all the injury, the suspension early, injuries piled up. Then Pat got hurt, and it was over. And they were just kind of like coasting through, figuring out how to figure the whole thing out at the end.
It was a bad year. I mean, it's either going to be Bengals, which will tailspin into a couple bad years, or it'll be Rams, where they have the one down year, and then all of a sudden they're back.
Yeah, figure it out. Pete Sweeney's in studio here with us on New Day with SSJ on a. Is it going to be cloudy, rainy Monday? We don't know what it's going to be.
Mostly
I don't know.
cloudy.
We might have KU Oklahoma baseball at noon today. Check back in later.
All right.
We're having fun going back and looking through Tyreek Hill's West Alabama stats. 9 yards a carry, but third on the team in carries, I think. Had like 16 yards per reception. Some guy named Darryl Collins got twice as many catches as him. I'm trying to find where Darryl Collins. Darryl Collins, I don't think made the league. He got the ball a whole lot more than Tyreek did there. You know what? You got to figure out how to use a weapon. That's what you got to do. You got to find a way to use a weapon. And Bashard Smith is not Tyreek Hill.
Well, I think sometimes when players like that are undersized, you're hesitant to make them a wide receiver. But there's been enough receivers that have been about that height. Like I think Antonio Brown is similar height, where if you're able to garner separation, it really doesn't matter how tall you are. And the Chiefs certainly figured it out.
Yeah.
Say what you want about him off the field, and there's a lot to say. I mean, this is a obvious future Hall of Famer in Hill.
Yeah, and Garrett Dieter is steadfast in saying the Chiefs need to sign him. He's a friend and all that stuff, but Tyreek's injury is just he's not. You don't see him doing what Pat's doing right now, right? Because he had a worse knee injury.
You don't know because he's not with the team.
He's not with the team, but
have,
he does post videos and stuff.
You're out of to an extent. You're out of the public eye. I mean, you have these guys that are rehabbing from injuries across the league, and you just get updates because they're currently rostered. I mean, it's a little bit of a different scenario with Tyreek.
And Desmond Rowland, who was the guy who got 200 carries for Mike Gundy, and Tyreek Hill got 100. Looks like he's a personal trainer now. I'm looking at him. Hey, listen, he's out there.
Is he in the Kansas City area? Could he train you?
No. He's down in Dallas because he's a Dallas guy. He went to Oklahoma State. He was a 4-year player at Oklahoma State. He was in the Arena League for a little while. 2017, he was a personal trainer. He still does that. He was working for Marriott Hotels as a night auditor for some years. So
these are good updates. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean that's his LinkedIn.
Yeah. I mean, who knew we were going to do a deep dive
on Desmond Rowland? My point is, sometimes you don't know what you have with a football player, and it's a coach's job to figure it out.
Yeah.
Right. That's like.
And players develop differently.
Listen, Dante Hall. Nobody knew what to do with Dante Hall. They could not figure it out, and then Dick Vermeil. They finally unlocked that he was more of a wide receiver and a returner, and he ended up.
He almost didn't make the team as a returner.
Absolutely.
J.J. Moses was about to make a team over him,
and because he was down at A&M and kind of running back, and because he was short, because Bashard Smith's just that weird size, and he had played both at big schools, right? Mm-hmm. You're talking about Miami and SMU.
Yeah.
Those are playoff organizations.
That's right.
SMU made the playoffs, Pete.
Which is great.
Miami made the playoffs.
I want to see even more teams in the playoffs, so maybe Syracuse could sniff it.
How many would it take to get to Syracuse?
Maybe 64.
64? You think?
I don't know.
Maybe more.
I think if they what do they want to expand it to? 18?
24 is some of the talk.
24
That's too many.
But I'm saying, like, in my opinion, like, Syracuse could maybe get in if it's 24.
Occasionally.
That's probably where it needs to be for us. Yeah.
Yeah. 16.
16, we're not. I don't think we're getting there. I mean,
there are some years.
Though, Indiana has changed the feeling on a lot of these schools that
you got to get a guy and you got to get a bunch of money.
You can get a guy,
and you need to have a guy who can really, really coach.
As you know, my head coach at Syracuse, Fran Brown, doesn't shower after losses, so that's
you know how good
so
Kurt
far.
Signetti smells right now. Dude hasn't lost in forever.
He's got beautiful soap, I'm sure.
Oh, that guy's so
the
clean.
Best soap, yeah.
He's so clean. Fran Brown, so he's back, right?
Oh yeah.
Even after the 3-9.
Mm-hmm. We'll see. You know how it goes. We'll see.
I think. Listen, 2 years ago they were number 21 in the final college football playing rankings. That's in the playoff.
I'm more excited about basketball at this point. We got.
Are you?
Jerry McNamara.
Jerry, you got some players
familiar to some older Kansas fans. He's back in the mix as the head coach. So we'll see if they can finally turn it around.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
You sound confident about that.
I just got to get through another 3-9 football season, then it'll finally be basketball season, which will be great.
It's basketball season right now.
Well, the pros, we're still
it's
cooking.
basketball season right now.
The Knicks are still playing in June.
We have a very special guest coming up next. Can
That's
you
right.
tell us a little bit about this guy?
He is a big Knicks fan. We share a name and our Knicks fandom, and he will bring some.
Been a guest on the show
some
before.
hoop expertise. Yeah, a popular guest.
Yeah.
After
He hit a home run when he came on.
After the Kansas St. John's game, he came on and broke it down in detail.
Broke me down.
Broke Jake down, and we'll be back on. I guess talk some NBA.
The NBA, it's game 3.
Yeah, this is good. You know what's funny about this? We don't have Steven today. Usually I'd be coming in at this time.
Yeah.
So now you're having the Pete Sweeney hit
All
from
of it.
another Pete Sweeney, which is
All
good.
of it. What else can we ask him about? Giants?
The world is your oyster. Sure. I'm sure I'll have some Giants takes for you.
Is he sad that Russell Wilson's no longer the Giants quarterback? He's super excited to watch him on TV.
I doubt that.
I'm curious what his favorite signing between the 3 veteran receivers.
And which old wide receiver do you like best?
ODB, Juju, or Braxton Berrios?
Berrios will probably get the most action of the 3 of those guys.
The one who
He's
was
not a bad returner, actually.
As a returner, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
the
Yeah.
one who was in the league last year, or the one who was kind of in the league 2 years ago, or the one that was in the league like 3 years ago? I don't know. Do Berrios and did they both play 2 years ago?
No, Berrios was on, I think, the Texans.
The way they're
last year.
framing
Last
it,
year?
it's all minimum deals, so it's like an old man competition. I think
Right.
Berrios will have a spot as a returner. I don't know if they'll keep both Beckham and Smith-Schuster. We'll see. Not that Smith-Schuster's that old. Somehow he's still
I
under
know
30,
He's under 30.
which is crazy.
He's been in the league for 400 years. He's one of those guys who was like 20 when he got drafted.
Yeah.
3-year guy. And
Good
he's
guy.
Been around. And he's been
Always willing to
a face
answer.
and a name
Always
out
willing
there.
to answer a question in the locker room for these receiver articles.
Yeah, Berrios played in 4 games for
He
the
did, yeah.
Texans last year.
It's nice.
He has started 6 games in his career. That's the kind of guy you got to get on your team.
He's a specialist, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely a returner. I mean, he's decent.
He's started 6 games and he has 6 receiving touchdowns. Ergo, start him every day,
Right.
he'd have 16 touchdowns.
I bet that'd work out.
That's good. math.
That's analytics.
I bet he'd be a really good coach.
That's analytics. More New Day with SSJ without SSJ coming up.
Creep up there